Morning. It's day 25, I think. I had a pretty decent sleep last night. It rained this morning, barely enough to get the ground wet. We might get more, but it's hard to tell. It's overcast. Just making my coffee, getting things packed up. Today's mostly a paddling day, if the wind cooperates. I was really tired after hiking more than, I think it was 36 or 37 kilometers yesterday. I only saw 3 vehicles all day yesterday, which was pretty amazing for walking that far on roads. One of them stopped to ask for directions. This gravel bar by the river, there's also a road right there. There's no gate or ditch or anything, but all night and the whole time I've been here, I haven't seen any vehicles. This is really the boonies. It's kind of cool that if you wanted to, you could drive out here. Nothing's stopping you, but there's absolutely no one here. Starting to rain for real now. Fortunately, there's some trees overhanging the gravel bar here, so I just moved my stuff and finishing my coffee, and then I'll finish packing up and hit the road. I have just a few hundred meters to walk to Benson Lake, which I will paddle, I think. And then this river, the Benson River, flows out of the lake to a series of other lakes, but unless a bunch of other streams join it at the lake, there's not enough water to paddle down. These pools are beautiful paddling, like the one under the bridge, but then you get to the riffles, and I don't mind scraping the bottom of my Packraft going down riffles, but I don't think I could even get down these ones without walking. They're just too shallow. So I'll take a look at the other end of Benson Lake, but I'm not optimistic that I'll be able to paddle the river. So I'll just have to walk between the lakes, which isn't a big deal. They're not far apart. And then I get to Alex Lake later in the day, and that is a long lake. I think it's 12 or 13 kilometers long. And then my next food resupply is at the far end of that lake near Marble River. So I should get there today. It's only 26.5 kilometers from here. Unless there's a really strong headwind or something, and there's no wind right now, it should be an easy task to get there today. I don't think I'll go beyond there because after that I need to paddle down the Marble River, which flows into the ocean right near Quatsino Narrows, which is a very narrow passage where the water floods and ebbs through, and the current there gets up above 8 knots, which is about 3 or 4 times as fast as I can paddle. So I need to wait for slack current between the tides to get across there. And I think I was looking last night, and for the next few days there's a slack current at Quatsino Narrows around midday. So I'll probably wait and do that crossing tomorrow. There's Benson Lake through the trees and through the mist and the rain. I'm walking alongside Benson Lake here, looking to see if there's a good place to put in. I may just skip this. It's raining reasonably hard, and the lake is only like 1.5 kilometers long, and I've already walked a third of that looking for a place to put in. And then there's, at the end of the lake, it turns into the Benson River again, which did not look paddleable at the other end, so it might just be a big waste of time. I don't know. We'll see. It might be difficult to see through the trees, but the shore all along this side of the lake is quite swampy and the reeds extend out pretty far. So it doesn't make an attractive place to launch. I probably could have launched at the mouth of the river, but I went this way instead. Across the lake, I don't know if you can see it, there's a dam up above, damming Maynard Lake, and then it looks like a power station right in the middle of the screen there. I don't know if it's still in operation, but it's kind of neat. So I just stopped to put on my rain pants and bury my electronics deep in my pack because it's really raining now. I don't know if you can tell, it's always hard to tell on camera. I decided to not paddle Benson Lake and probably Kathleen Lake as well. There was one place to put in back there, but someone was camping right there and I didn't want to walk right through their campsite and inflate my boat there and put in. And it would have been just a 15-minute paddle and then I would have been at the river, which I don't think I can paddle down anyway. And looking closer at the satellite imagery, all the roads that I could bail out to from the river, and even from the other end of the lake, are totally overgrown. So I would just have to paddle back and then walk this anyway if I couldn't paddle the river, which I am say 85% sure that I can't. So, I mean, I could walk the river like I did on the Nitnat River earlier in the trip. That was really beautiful and fun, but it was super slow and it's pouring rain, so it's a little less enjoyable doing stuff like that in the rain. So I'm probably just gonna walk to Alice Lake because Kathleen Lake is another small lake like this one, and then it's back to the river after that. And unlike the Nitnat River, which was like the canyons in that river were all carved out of basalt, which is nice, smooth. The way that it weathers, it doesn't make sharp edges. Unlike that, here we're in the Quatsino limestone, and limestone is generally either very abrasive and sharp, or it's got some scum growing on it that makes it super slippery, neither of which I'm super keen to subject myself to, especially on a day like today. So all of those factors are pointing me in the direction of walking the two and a half hours to Alice Lake, and then I'll probably paddle that unless I'm too cold or something, but it's not actually cold out, it's just raining hard. So yeah, I'll let you know if anything changes. That's Kathleen Lake down there. I've decided to keep on walking to Alice Lake. Looks beautiful in the fog though. It's pretty good signage here for being in the middle of nowhere. This road is kind of neat. the limestone weathers to a dark gray black color, but when you break it open it's a bright white. So the road has this salt and pepper color, and then contrasting that with the green hemlocks and cedars and the gray sky and mountains. It's beautiful in a dreary way. Looking down through the trees at the Devil's Bath, cenote. There's a trail down, so I'm gonna try to get a better look. Well, this is pretty cool. There's no sign or anything at the top of this little trail. It's very steep, but there are ladders and fixed ropes to get down. And it's a big cenote. On a sunny day, it would probably be quite nice to go swimming here. There's really no stable spot to stand. That's the only downside. But it's pretty cool. I've read that the water is connected to Benson River through a cave over there on that side of the cenote. So I assume it's been mapped by scuba divers. Oh, and I see a platform up there with a railing, so there must be another viewpoint. I'll climb up there and check it out. Still walking down the road. The rain is mostly let up, but I'm pretty wet. I don't think I'll dry out today unless it really clears up and the sun starts to shine, because it's still quite misty and I think the humidity is pretty close to 100%. But yeah, things are going well. I found this little trail to the Benson River. Well, almost to the river. It kind of peters out here. But the river looks pretty much the same, like nice deep pools to paddle through, but the riffles are too shallow. I have a couple more kilometers to go to Alice Lake, so I'll continue along the road. I've arrived here at Alice Lake, got the Packraft inflated at this sort of, it's a little delta that people have turned into a campsite. There's a weird campfire going in a minivan with no one around, and then a family arrived in a different car and were talking to me for a bit. But yeah, it's kind of windy. I've got a headwind here with some whitecaps forming, so I may regret this decision, but I'm going to try and paddle up the lake. Well, I'm just taking a little break in the lee of this point. The wind is fairly strong, but it's manageable. I'm still making progress. I've only been paddling for 20 minutes or so, but I don't want to tire myself out. So I'm gonna stop here, filter some water. If I like this spot, I might even stop and cook up some lunch. Looks like the sky is trying to clear up, but so far this isn't my favorite lake. It's very weedy and full of deadheads, but maybe it'll improve. This point is kind of neat. It's columnar basalts. Quite altered, but neat all the same. Look at that. I can see my shadow. That's a good sign. And the lake has calmed down a bit. The wind has dropped a little bit anyway. There aren't any whitecaps out there, so I've had a good lunch and the tent should be dry now, so I'm gonna pack up and get back out on the water. I don't know what that is. It almost looks like a beach bar that you might see in a tropical country, but I'm pretty sure that's not what it is. Lots of driftwood on this beach, wow. It's nice and calm in the lee of this other point. Making decent progress still. The wind isn't quite as strong as it was before. That's where I came from. I haven't seen any other boats on the water. I just hear the occasional logging truck whining away. There's tons of wood in the water. The bottom along the shore is just covered in wood. I'm not sure if there was a sawmill here at some point, or if it's just all the remnants of logging or deadfall. I just stopped here on this little outcrop for a quick break and put a bit more air into the Packraft. It's really clouded over, so the air pressure drops when the sun stops shining on the fabric and warming it up. So it's getting a little soft. I'm at the point in Alice Lake where there are these islands. It's pretty beautiful and rugged. And quiet. There's nobody around. Still no boats. I've got about 4.5 kilometers more to paddle on Alice Lake. The wind seems to come and go, but it's never too bad. I think the nice thing is the waves aren't very big, even when the wind is blowing hard, so it's not much of a struggle. I'm enjoying it more than I was at first, but there's still lots of weeds in the lake. It must be from people not cleaning their boats and trailers when they bring their boats here from other lakes, because I haven't seen weeds like this in any of the other big lakes. Looking back at where I came from, it's south on Alice Lake. And I'm in the Narrows. That's an island right there. That's where I'm heading, towards the blue sky. I've had a few raindrops falling, but so far I've managed to stay pretty dry. I've got about 1.5 kilometers to go from here. It's getting close to 6 p.m. I think. So I should have plenty of time to get to my food cache and probably get it sorted out tonight, so I'm ready in the morning. Ready to hurry up and wait for the current to subside so I can get across the Narrows, Quatsino Narrows. I keep seeing really big fish surfacing. I don't think there's a salmon run right now, but maybe there is. They're like at least a couple feet long. I don't know if you saw that one right there. There's two. Those look like salmon. There's another one. Cool. Well, I've reached the point where I was planning to take out. The road is just through those trees. But getting to it is going to be a challenge. I might just look around the corner, see if there's a better spot. In the satellite imagery, this kind of looks like a beach, but clearly it's just a jam of driftwood. So I'm going to keep looking. Well, this side is not much better, but it's better. It's the sound of a vehicle going by, so I'm close to the road. It took a laughable amount of work to get over that submerged log, but I did it. And now I'm gonna try to get things packed up on this log. All right, I got the Packraft deflated, folded into thirds, and paddles all packed up. I just need to roll this and then get myself off this log. It's as easy as falling off a log. It's trying to turn into a beautiful evening. And now I have to get into that. Well, I made it. I'd say that was difficult, but brief. And here I am on the road. I just need to check and see which way to go. Well, I've reached the site of my food cache, and it appears to be undisturbed, so that's great. But I realized that I don't have water, so I can't really camp here. There is a pond like 100 meters away, but do I really want to bushwhack to that? It looks pretty gross. And especially around the edge, it's all just like swamp. So in order to get decent water, I would have to wade out through mud, who knows how deep. The better alternative is to walk back to the lake, but there is a boat launch nearby. The ironic thing is I could have just paddled to that boat launch and avoided the whole bushwhacking and rolling up the packraft on the log and all of that, and I could have just paddled to the boat launch, packed up leisurely, and then got some nice water and then walked here. But now I'm doing both of those things, so it's only about half a kilometer from here, so just gonna walk down there now, grab some water, carry it back here, and find a place to camp. And here's the boat launch. That water looks pretty good. Crystal clear. And there's the mouth of the Marble River, which I will be paddling down tomorrow. Okay, I've got water, I got my food cache, and I've got a place to sleep. It's not gonna win any awards, but it's relatively flat. This road has a big pile of dirt across it, just back there. And there's no other way in from the other end, so I shouldn't have any traffic coming by. There were some tire tracks, like 4x4 tracks around the dirt pile, but it's 8 p.m. on a Friday night. I don't think anyone will be driving out here. There is a campground nearby, but as I mentioned, it's Friday night, so I don't know. I just don't want to deal with all the people in their trailers and their loud machines and stuff. So I'm gonna be out here all alone, and I can hear the highway noise, but it only goes to a small town, so I think it should die down. There's some beautiful old growth cedar on that side of the road, and there's Douglas fir.